Welcome to this episode of She's Iconic. Today's is going to be a spicy one. I have my hoop earrings on. I have my cheetah prints. I'm feeling fired up because I saw a post this week calling out a powerful, high-performing woman for dimming herself down. This was one of her clients. And in the message was basically saying, be more audacious. Own who you are. Speak with conviction. And here's the thing. That's not wrong. I preach that. At the end of each episode, I say, remember who the fuck you are, icon. But it is incomplete. If a woman with proven results is still shrinking in rooms, that is not a confidence problem. That is a protection pattern. If you've ever been in rooms, containers, masterminds, or even just consuming content where the message is, just do it, just speak up, just own it, just be more confident, let's fucking go. And you are sitting there thinking, I hear you, I get it. And even that I believe I'm powerful and I have this insane genius and I have the proof, why can't I actually hold it? Why do I still hesitate? Why do I still soften? Why do I still feel myself pull back right before I fully land what I want to say? Then this episode is for you today. Because what I'm going to show you today is that there is nothing wrong with you. You are not lacking confidence. You are missing something. You are not ready. What's actually happening is that your body is still operating off of a pattern where being fully seen, fully expressed, fully in your authority doesn't yet feel safe. And until that shifts, you will keep defaulting no matter how much you know, no matter how much the proof is showing in your bank account or with client testimonials. So let's talk about why this happens and why telling powerful women just to own it and be audacious will only take them so far. There are two very real coaching paradigms that are happening online right now. There is the number one, the activation through confrontation. Be more audacious, speak with conviction, stop dimming yourself, own who the fuck you are. And listen, this works for the women whose nervous systems can metabolize confrontation and stretch themselves. But this is the truth that you're circling. If a woman is dimming herself down, it's not because she forgot to be confident. It's because somewhere in her body, it is safer to shrink than to shine. And no amount of hype dissolves that survival pattern. You can scream, be bold at a woman whose system equates visibility with rejection. But if her body learned at 12 years old that being loud meant being punished, she will override for a week, maybe a month, and then default back. Because the body always wins over mindset. I don't coach women to act confident. I coach them to remove the internal threat response that makes confidence feel unsafe. You can hype yourself into conviction. You can script yourself into power. You can posture your way into authority. But if your body still believes that being fully expressed equals abandonment, judgment, or loss, you will always default. And I'll give you an example. One of my dear friends, I had her on our podcast a couple months ago. We actually started to do a podcast together. And I remember the first episode we were doing. I said, okay, go ahead, go first. And she kind of like delayed, like she was waiting for me to lead. And me, as a leader, as the oldest of 5 children, I have no problem leading. But I'm also very aware and attentive of when someone is shrinking or holding back or not being their full visible self and anchoring into their genius. So I kind of was like messing with her. And I was like, no, you lead, you start the conversation. And I brought it to her awareness. I was like, do you see how you like delayed in leading, even though you were leading leaders through somatic work? What is that? Like, what is that? And I know that she is the youngest of 5 kids. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. So then we dove into that and it completely made sense as to why she was waiting to be led, because that's what she did her entire life is, okay, show me the way. Allow me to feel safe by her older siblings, right? And maybe she felt like her voice wasn't strong enough or powerful enough because her older siblings overrode it. Whatever it might be, it's our stories these stories, the body stores that relational memory. So visibility to her once equated to danger. This is not safe. I need someone else to lead me. I need an older sibling to lead me. Maybe being outspoken once equated to rejection, like, oh no, you're just a little sister. Listen to your big sister or brother. Authority once equated punishment. Maybe you were like speaking your truth and saying something, but you got punished for being too loud or saying the thing. So shrinking, it becomes adaptive, not a weakness, but your body's intelligence to try to protect you and keep you safe. And I want to dive into why high achieving women still shrink. Okay, because this could be the masquerade on social media. You can see all the ways that they're being big and bold and disruptive. But when I'm talking to them in a coaching room where it's a safe space, there are things that come out where you're just like, whoa, I would have never guessed that about you online. But it shows up in these little subtle ways. So these women are making 10K a month, 30K a month, who still over-explain. They still dilute their authority. And it happens in very, very sneaky ways. It happens when you're comparing yourself to someone else and like, oh, she said it so good there. Let me say it in that way. Let me try to over-explain because then they'll choose me instead of me just owning my truth and people will meet me where I'm at. You will dilute your authority because you're like, ooh, I don't want someone to come at me, right? You will seek permission. You will soften your edges, add disclaimers. Why would someone that powerful still do that? Because at some point, being fully expressed cost her connection. And the nervous system does not care about revenue. It cares about safety. You cannot out-strategize a survival response. It is your nervous system's responsibility. This is the way you're wired to protect yourself. And it's showing up in all these little ways. So I want to talk about the difference between hype and embodiment. Hype-based confidence, okay? Think Tony Robbins. I fucking love Tony Robbins. But think about it. It's loud. It's forced. It's performative in a way. It collapses under stress and it requires constant external activation. Think about people who go to his events and it's like you feel it on that cellular level and they're like, yes, you changed my life. But it's like, how long does it actually last, right? It might not last for the duration that you want it to last for because there's some things going on underneath at a deeper layer that's not allowing you to be at the full caliber next level self. So at the time, I mean, think about it. You being at a certain event, a certain business event or a concert or something where you're just like, you feel so alive and you feel so magnetic and you feel so like, yes, this is it. I'm on top of the world. And then kind of crash after that sometimes, right? And that hype-based confidence is not sustainable. It may last you a certain duration of time, but it doesn't last you forever. Us high achievers, we need to create that sustainable foundation of safety so that we can be audacious and be confident. So embodied authority, it is calm. It is neutral. It is regulated. It is iconic, right? When she walks into the room, she knows who the fuck she is. It's like, oh, she just exhales. She's just there and you feel that woman's energy. She doesn't need to prove anything. She doesn't spike under pressure. I don't coach women to act confident. I coach them to remove the internal threat response that makes confidence feel unsafe. And this right here is exactly the work that I do with my clients. Because I'm not interested in giving you another mindset shift that you can intellectually understand, but still not be able to hold. I'm here for the woman who knows that she's powerful, but you can feel in the moments where your body is still pulling you back. I've actually opened up a couple of one-to-one spots right now for this exact kind of work. And there's two ways we could do it. You could either come in for a one-off recalibration session where we go in, we find the pattern, and we start shifting it at the root. Or if you're really ready to do this deeper level transformative work, I have longer term containers, 3 to 6 months, where we're not just touching it once. We're actually rewiring the way you operate, the way you lead, and what your body feels safe holding. This is about sustainability and the longevity. because it's not about a quick fix. It isn't about hyping you up for a week and then watching you fall back into the same patterns. It's about creating the shift that lasts, where showing up, being seen, speaking with authority actually feels natural in your body. So if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, this is me, the application is in the description below. You can read through both options and see what feels aligned for you. Now let's talk about why women default back. If visibility triggers sympathetic activation, okay, that is the fight or flight response, or dorsal shutdown, which is the collapse and the fawn, she will override it for a few weeks and then revert back because your baseline, it hasn't shifted. And if your body still equates expansion with danger, you will sabotage growth to regulate yourself. And that's the depth most coaches skip. And to be honest, a lot of us high achieving women, we stay up at like the fight or flight because we're like, no, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep doing. And that's when you start to do things out of alignment. That's when you start over explaining yourself. That's when you start falling into perfectionism. Or you might be one who's just like, oh, I can't. I just need rest. I need space. I need more clarity. And you start to collapse and fall. So what actually creates this transformative change is awareness around the pattern. Why am I defaulting always to this pattern? Awareness around it. Locating then, where does it live in the body? Does it live in your throat? Does it live in your jaw? Does it live in your neck and your shoulders? Does it live in your gut? Does it live in your hips? Where does it live in the body? For me, a lot of the somatic work that I have done, it has lived in my throat, and that equates to speaking my truth. It lives in my jaw, and that equates to me like clenching or holding and not saying and speaking what I want to speak into. I had awareness around that, so then I was able to work in those areas and notice, when am I clenching my jaw? When am I not fully speaking my truth and articulating myself? When am I dimming my light? And then you discharge that stored activation. So I was aware of where it lived in my body, and I started to discharge that stored activation with somatic practices, and then expanded my capacity gradually, and then repatterned visibility as safe. And this is what rewires you on a body-based level by going through these things. And it is much easier when you have someone walking you through these things versus doing it on your own, because they can see, okay, where are we still defaulting back? And that's where the co-regulation comes in. When you come to me and we are working together, coach and client, we are co-regulating together. And I am understanding, okay, what is your window of tolerance? What is your window of capacity? How can we titrate your edges? And then from there, create a new story. It is about somatic precision, knowing exactly where it lies in the body, where that story lies in the body, and creating a new one. It is about identity recalibration. It's wild. Like, you're actually able to rewire your nervous system and your body and these stories, like, and have a full-blown recalibration. How freaking amazing is it that we're capable of doing that? And that's what I walk you through. Boldness, it should feel neutral. It should not feel activating. It should feel groundedness. And if it feels like more activating, then it is not truly embodied yet. And your leadership edge lies here. This is where you claim your space, not from ego, not from clarity. There are coaches who will yell at you to step up. There are coaches who will help you make stepping up feel safe. And I'm the second one. Because when your body trusts your expansion, you don't need to be hyped up into conviction. You become steady and grounded. So ask yourself, where are you still overriding? Where does boldness still feel activating? Where are you performing confidence instead of embodying it. And if you are done white knuckling your growth and ready to recalibrate your baseline, this is the kind of work I do inside my world. So if you felt this in your body today, if this landed for you, if you're like, yes, oh my God, I want that next level of growth. I want that next level of me fully claiming, owning, mastering my audacity and my conviction as a leader. This is where it happens. If you're like, oh my God, I need to share this with someone, go ahead and share it. Comment below on YouTube. Be like, this so landed for me right here. This is exactly how I feel. If anything resonated at all, please share it. You can reach out to me at Renee Marie on Instagram, because I know if you felt it in your body, that means you're ready. You're ready to work together. You're ready to really step into this next level of you fully owning who you are. It's time to remember who the fuck you are, icon, and not just at a mindset level, but on a body-based level. I love you so much. Mwah.